What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into NXT from December the 5th, 2023. A pretty okay show for the most part. And we will go over the NXT Deadline predictions. So, we kicked the show off with the first match of the night. The last chance fatal 4-way. The winner gets added into the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge. Roxanne Perez, Fallon Henley, Kiana James, and Thea Hale. And Fallon Henley gets the win via the Shining Wizard. She pinned Thea Hale. There was a nasty announce table spot where I think Roxanne Perez did a real nasty Pop Rocks, sending Kiana James to the announce table. So that's pretty cool. I'm actually digging the feud with Roxanne Perez and Kiana James. I'm actually digging it. I'm a fan of that. This is great. This is what Roxanne Perez needs to do. I'm a fan of Roxanne Perez. I like her in-ring work. It's good, it's solid, but she is not good on the mic, and she does not have a defined character. Those are my only two issues that I have with Roxanne Perez. Other than that, she's solid in ring. Fallon Henley winning is fine. I would have liked to have Thea Hale win, though, simply just because I think that would be interesting. But she is in a storyline with Chase U and everything, so, Fallon Henley winning is the right decision, if we're going to be honest about it, I guess. And if we look at it for a second, both the men's and women's Iron Survivor matches aren't really all that strong. They aren't. They aren't really. You don't really have a bunch of solid people in those matches. You just don't. And that's the only problem that I have. Like, for example, when you look at the men's Iron Survivor, the only two logical choices to win would either be Trick Williams or Braun Breaker. So, I don't know. Moving on from that. So, Kelly Kincaid, she had a backstage interview with Lyra Valkyria. So, Lyra gives Fallon Henley, thanks Fallon Henley for calling her shot. Well, Lyra gives Fallon Henley credit for calling her shot. Lyra is looking forward to the Iron Survivor Challenge. Then Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez, they're doing a conversation. Lola says that Lyra can't get ahead of herself. She can cash in her breakout tournament contract. Power's in her hands, and Lyra's ready for a fight. Excuse me. Lola tells Tatum Paxley to mind her own business. Tatum Paxley challenges Lola to a match later on tonight. So, that's pretty cool stuff there. Tatum Paxley, I like her, but she's had too many stop and start pushes. 1 minute she's on the card, next minute she's not. 1 minute she's on the card, next minute she's not. I don't like that. I really don't. That's the Tony Khan style of booking that Shawn Michaels does from time to time. And I hate that shit. I really do. It's very, very annoying. You should have a clear-cut direct and path for certain characters, for certain people on NXT. I think Tatum Paxley has all the tools to be successful. It's just they have to give her a platform and give her a chance to shine. I think she could be something because she has it. She's got a really good, unique look. But Shawn Michaels just doesn't know what to do with her, I would assume. Next, So Wes Lee comes out. He comes out with a cane. So basically, he gets on the mic and says that he would love to smack Dominic Mysterio all around the Total Mortgage Arena. And then hearing the 1, 2, 3 from Alicia's beautiful angelic voice, announcing him as the new NXT North American Champion. But it's not going to happen. Then Wes Lee starts to break down. He says that thank you guys for all the support that you've given him and everything else. But he said that he's going to have surgery. It's hard for him to walk. He's unsure when he's going to see us again. He says, but he's rose from the ashes to become one of the greatest champions to ever step foot inside this NXT ring. He says he's going to return to further cement his legacy as one of the best to ever do this. Wrong. And this is not a goodbye. He's far from done. Let's just say, for now, I'll see you later. So Dom comes out. He gets on the mic. He says he doubts that Wes Lee needs surgery. He says, just imagine how his back feels for carrying all of the WWE for the past 2 years. That was great. I love Dom. And basically, Dom alluded to just saying that he's going to take the night off. He's going to be able to chill with mommy. So Wes Lee says, nah, Dom, not so fast. Pump the brakes. You got to deal with somebody that you're closely related to. So Rey Mysterio gets on the Titantron. He says, what's up, son? He says basically that Saturday is not a night off. In fact, he'll be defending the NXT North American Championship at Deadline. And Ray said he's going to be at Deadline. And he's going to be in the corner of Dragon Lee, which is great. The future of Lucha Libre. So then that leads into Dragon Lee coming down and having a fight scene with Dominic. So I like this. This is really good stuff here. This is what I'm going to say with this. I think that Dragon Lee needs to be the one who defeats Dominic Mysterio. Why? Because it makes sense. It makes sense. I get he's on the main roster and everything else. That's cool. He's got a good showcase. But I think the North American title would look great on Dragon Lee. Dragon Lee is the future of Lucha Libre. I am a big fan of Dragon Lee. I'm a big fan of Dom. But I'm hoping that Dragon Lee wins. So this is good. Wes Lee being out for 8 to 12 months. Damn. And I'll say this. I like Wes Lee to an extent. He's okay. But Wes Lee is starting to become injury prone. And Wes Lee is going to have to work a different style when he comes back. If not, he's going to end up in a fucking wheelchair. I'm telling you. And Wes Lee is in his, he's in his 20s. I think his late 20s, 28, 29. If not, he might even be 30 even. But Wes Lee, when he comes back, he's going to have to change his style. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If he doesn't, Wes Lee will be in a fucking wheelchair. I guarantee you that. That's not good that he's that injury prone. He just came back from injury not too long ago. And then before that, after that, he took a 3-month sabbatical. So, I don't know. Moving on. So, Roxanne Perez and Kenna James, they have a brawl in the trainer's room. And then Ava Raine says that they're going to have a match at Deadline. Next, we get the men's 2023 breakout tournament involving Riley Osborne, Tevin Heights, Dion Lexon, Lucia Cristofino, we've seen him before. Miles Bourne, we've seen him before. Trey Bearhill, we've seen him before, and Oba Femi, we've seen him before as well. So this is interesting stuff here. I kind of like it. It's kind of interesting. We've seen some of these guys before, so it makes sense. Next, Lola Vice versus Tatum Paxley. Lola Vice gets the win via the spinning heel kick. Great shit there. Moving on. So, Baron Corbin tells Kelly Kincaid that he's not concerned about Ilja Dragunov. So, we finally get some drama. So, NXT Anonymous shows us that it applies the maybe that Carmelo Hayes sent a text to the person who attacked Trick Williams last month. So that's pretty cool there. Next, Joe Gacy, he starts playing mind games with Vic Joseph, which is kind of funny. That was great. Moving on from that. So we get the Alpha Academy versus Meta-4. There was this one cool spot in the match where Lash did a scoop slam to Otis, and that crowd lost their shit. And I was like, holy shit. Like, it was great. It was absolutely tremendous. I loved it. Lash Legend is a fucking star. I don't care what anybody says. Lash Legend is a fucking star. She's a star, man. She's a star. Bro, Lash Legend is a star. I was like, oh, shit. Like, that really popped me. I was like, damn. So, Chad Gable gets the win. He makes Noam Dar tap out via the ankle lock. So, that's fine there. So, Hank and Tank, they challenged Gallus to a match next week. They went to their bar and they offered Gallus some pints of whiskey and shit. So that must have been kind of fun. So this is fun there. So Ava Raine informs us that Roxanne Perez will fight Kiana James at Deadline in a steel cage match, which is great. Because I pitched one of their matches should be either a steel cage match or a last woman standing match. So great. Next, we get the Women's Iron Survivor Challenge Summit. And I don't even want to go over this. Byron Saxton was the mediator of all this. Basically, all the women talk shit about each other, basically. Then it was a big brawl scene that broke out. So, that's all it was. I mean, it was nothing important, you know? And I hate stuff like that. I really do, because I knew that was what was going to happen. It always happens in stuff like this. But you could have done all this stuff literally in like 5 minutes. But because since all the females wanted to cut these long promos with each other, it felt like it was like 15 minutes. That's the problem and issue that I have with these types of segments. It's like, no, go ahead and get to the point really quick, and then go ahead and have the brawl scene so we can move on. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Next, Axiom versus Nathan Frazier. So it was a no contest. The women came out and they started brawling. And then Nikita Lyons, my girl, she returned and she did a mid kick to Blair Davenport. So that's great there. So I'm glad that my girl's back. I'm glad she's back. Yes. So Trick Williams, he confronts Carmelo Hayes about the surveillance video. He was pissed. So I do like that. Like, Carmelo was just, blowing off Trick, basically. He was just like, nah, bro. Not right now. Let me focus on what I got to do. And then we can focus on what we got to do. And Carmelo's like, man, you got me. Trick was like, nah. I'm like, damn, okay. So, Lexis King, he basically wishes Carmelo Hayes luck in the match and says that, he's going to see him soon. He's going to see him in due time. Next, Chase U. So, Andre Chase says that he let down the institution. He got into some scandals and everything. He says the gist of it all is that Chase U is under academic probation and that he failed to set an example for the students. He said he also had a continuous lapse in judgment that led us into this delicate situation. So, Thea Hale, she responds by saying, that's horrible. Mr. Tracy, it would be easier for us to know what we have to do if you just tell us what you actually owe. So, Andre Chase says that he owes hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's not just the loan, it's interest. I went through a third party. Andre Chase says that he's going to cut to the chase. Losing all his personal finances, I began to use university assets, which in return caused me to go through an organization. I found myself not being able to pay back, putting myself in this university in a compromising predicament. I got this university in this mess, and I'm damn sure going to get us out of this mess. I'm going to restore this university to its full glory as quickly and efficiently as possible. And then so students are starting to say, well, we can have a bake sale, we can do a car wash, which is kind of funny. And then Duke Hudson's like, other than selling his trophy because he's not going to do it, is there anything else that we could help with? Which was funny. So maybe this could all tie into the gambling that Duke did. I want to say it was last year. So that might tie into everything as well. So that's another thing to look out for. But this was a pretty fun little segment. And then there was this one guy who gave Andre Chase a really good suggestion. Thea Hale started to get goo-goo eyes over him and everything else. And Jessie Jane had to get her to come back down to earth, which is kind of cool. So I do like that. That's interesting. Next, the main event of the show, the last chance qualifier, men's Iron Survivor Challenge. Carmelo Hayes, Tyler Bate, Joe Coffey, Eddie Thorpe. Tyler Bate wins. So that's interesting there. He wins via the Tyler Driver 97. Post-match, there's a massive brawl that breaks out. Dijak, Braun Breaker, Josh Briggs, and Trick Williams. So they all have a little brawl scene. Then Carmelo tells Trick Williams that he would never work with Lexis King. Melo plans on having a match with Lexis King at Deadline. My bad. So Melo said he's going to open the show, and Trick is going to close the show. Interesting. Interesting. Again, we all know that Lexis King and Carmelo Hayes are working together, So it's the end of Trick and Melo gang, basically. Then Baron Corbin and Ilja Dragunov face to face. So Ilja says that a championship that you actually failed to capture before. Baron, you brought my personal life into this. Guess what? You mocked my accent. You mocked my demeanor. You can question the fire intentionally. I can handle that. But the sacrifices I made for my son so that he can have a better life, that is a line you've crossed. Saturday, your body will pay for this. So, Baron Corbin then begins to belittle Ilja. And they continue to have this long, drawn-out back and forth. So, Ilja says you would leave this. So Corbin starts trying to basically poke the bear. So Ilja is like, I'm trying to contain this because if I unleash it now on Saturday, there will not be a title match at Deadline. You'll leave this place in an ambulance with no opportunity to have this title with your fancy lifestyle, your fancy cars, and expensive watches. You're a materialistic son of a bitch. I love that. I was like, dude, Ilja is that dude. So Corbin basically just goes over his career and what he's done and everything else, and he continues to poke the bear with Ilja, make fun of him and everything else. And then Corbin responds by saying he tempts, he begins to tempt Ilja. He says that he'll turn his back to him. So he sets up a table, and he provokes Ilja. He says, I take your only reason to be here, but that's right, buddy. You're a coward. You'll find a way to stay. And Dragunov's about to whoop Corbin's ass, but he chooses not to. And then Ilja responds by saying, the only person that can destroy the dragon is the dragon himself. I'm like, damn, that was great. So Corbin gets freaked out and everything, and that's how we go off the air. Well, not really. Then there's a massive brawl that breaks out, and Braun Breaker spears. Who did he spear through the table? Damn it, I can't even remember. So Braun Breaker, I think he speared Dijak through the table. No, it wasn't Dijak. Shit. Josh Briggs or somebody. I don't fucking know. But Braun Breaker speared somebody through the table. Oh, no. Braun speared Trick Williams through the table. And Tyler Bate and Dijak had a little brawl scene for a second, and Tyler Bate overcame that. So he stood tall. So, an okay way to close the show, I guess. Again, I don't know why they had the men and women do the same thing of massive brawls. I don't like that. We see too many of those. It's kind of boring, if we're being honest. Let's just go ahead and get into the review. But overall, NXT was okay. Let's go ahead and get into the predictions. My bad. We've got 7 matches on the card, which is interesting. We might have a couple pre-show matches, I think. So, Axiom versus Nathan Frazier in a nothing match. That'll probably be on the pre-show. Axiom probably will win that. Then we got Carmelo Hayes versus Lexis King. This should be interesting. I'm down for that. That probably will open the show. I'm going to go with Lexis King winning. Some underhanded way, him winning, maybe Trick comes out and tries to help Melo, and then they argue back and forth, and then maybe Lexis King wins via a roll-up or something like that. I don't know, something like that. Something to continue the Trick and Melo split, which is what they're probably going to end up doing anyway. Next, Roxanne Perez versus Kiana James, steel cage match. Kiana James needs to win this, if we're being honest. I would love that, because Roxanne Perez, she needs to be brought down a peg. Again, I like her in-ring work, but she has no character. She's boring. Kiana James, to me, is the total package. She's decent on the mic, has a really good character, and she's got decent in-ring skills. She's decent in-ring, so I'm kind of excited for this. Next, Dominic Mysterio versus Dragon Lee. The NXT North American Championship. Dragon Lee needs to win this for sure. I mean, I know Rhea's going to be in the corner of Dom, but Dragon Lee needs to win this. You know, he really does. Dom is fine. Dom will be fine without the title anyway, because he doesn't need it to get over. He's already over anyway. He's already over. He doesn't need the title anymore, if we're being honest. He just doesn't. And we're seeing the downfall of Judgment Day anyway. That's coming. So why not start it with Dom? Then as we get to the Rumble, Judgment Day lose the tag titles. So that's kind of like what I would do. And I like Dom, but Dominic doesn't need a title to stay relevant. He just doesn't need it. I think Dragon Lee winning would be smart on Shawn Michaels' part. Next, Ilja Dragunov versus Baron Corbin. This cannot main event the show. It needs to be either the men's Iron Survivor match or the women's Iron Survivor match. One of the two. But this just does not feel like a main event to me. It just doesn't. This actually feels like something that you could put in the middle of the card if you're being honest. This is something that if I was booking it, I would have it in the middle of the show. Dragunov's gonna retain. Like, why not? Like, why would he? Like, why would he lose to Corbin? Moving on to the Iron Survivor Challenge matches. Let's start with the women's. Tiffany Stratton, Lash Legend, Blair Davenport, Kalani Jordan, Fallon, Henley. Tiffany Stratton is my main pick. Blair Davenport is my second pick. That's it. I don't see Fallon Henley or Kalani Jordan winning. And Lash Legend, she's doing stuff with Metaphor. So, I mean, she's fine either way. But my two picks to win are either Blair Davenport or Tiffany Stratton. And either one of those two, I'm fine with, for sure. Hopefully the main event, the men's Iron Survivor Challenge, Dijak, Trick Williams, Josh Briggs, Braun Breaker, Tyler Bate. My two picks to win, Trick Williams or Braun Breaker. Everybody else would be dumb as hell. Even if Tyler Bate wins, it would be dumb. For what? Why would you want to do Tyler Bate versus Ilja Dragunov? No. I would love to see Braun and Ilja again. I would love to see Trick Williams and Ilja again. So that's what I would do, because those are your money makers, if we're being honest. So NXT was decent, but what did you guys think? Like, comment, subscribe. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.